Have you ever sat down to do important work and just couldn't get your brain to work or to cooperate? You sit down, you have to write something, you have to maybe record something, you have to work on a project, and the brain just isn't cooperating. It's not there, you can't focus, your thoughts start drifting, etc. And it's not because you're tired or because you have had a poor night's sleep or because you didn't have your coffee yet. You took care of all of that, but the focus just isn't there. Maybe it's brain fog after lunch, maybe you hit a wall halfway through a demanding project. Whatever it is, there is something that's quite not working. And what most people do in those situations is to grab another cup of coffee, and then you realize it's still not working. Adding caffeine is usually not a recipe for success in those cases where the brain just is not cooperating. But what if the problem isn't your willpower or your caffeine intake? What if it's what you're feeding your brain? So today I want to talk about a molecule your body already makes, and one that can dramatically change how your brain performs, and why the supplement version of it is worth understanding. Here is one thing that most people don't think about. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns through a quarter of your total daily energy. It's the most expensive organ you run. And like any engine, it performs differently depending on what fuel you put in. And most of us run our brains on glucose, the sugar that comes from carbohydrates, all day, every day. And that works because the brain can use glucose as a fuel source. But it's not particularly clean or stable for your neurons. Blood sugar spikes after meals and then it crashes. It's a constant up and down. And that crash is often what you're feeling when your brain checks out at 2 p.m. Now, there's also that natural dip throughout the day, about 8 hours after waking up. I talked about this in one of my podcast episodes. But nonetheless, you can clearly tell if you had a high-carb meal, you crash after and you feel like you need to take a nap. But there is a second fuel your body knows how to make, one that burns cleaner, more efficiently, and doesn't create those peaks and valleys. And that fuel is called ketones. And most people only associate them with weight loss or endurance sport. The cognitive case for ketones is actually just as compelling, and that's what this video is about. And the cool thing is that the liver produces ketones naturally when your blood sugar and insulin levels drop. So that means during fasting, or when you cut out carbs significantly, or during prolonged exercise. And the most popular use case for ketones, or that one that most people associate it with, is probably the ketogenic diet. Because when you follow a keto diet, very low in carbs and very high in fat, then your body naturally flips over to burning predominantly ketones as a source of fuel instead of glucose. And in the context of cognitive performance, when glucose runs low, your liver starts converting stored fat into that alternative fuel that is ketones. And there are 3 types of ketones that your body makes. One is acetoacetate. That's the first one that's produced. Then there is beta-hydroxybutyrate, or BHP. That's the one you're probably familiar with. And that's, the one that gets measured in blood, etc. when you're on a ketogenic diet. And BHP does really most of the work. And that's the one we'll focus on in this video. But there is also acetone, and that's mostly exhaled. And that's why you can measure whether or not you're in ketosis and how deep in ketosis you are using a breath ketone meter, which I've done in the past. It measures acetone in your breath. And that's also the reason why your breath might smell a little bit fruity or differently when you're on a ketogenic diet or when you're in ketosis. But as I said, let's focus on BHP because that's where most of the magic happens as far as cognitive performance is concerned. So BHP travels through your bloodstream and then it crosses into your brain and gets directly used by brain cells as energy. So there's no more conversion or anything going on. It can be used right away. But there is one important detail that's worth pointing out, and that is that there are 2 mirror image forms of BHP. Think of them of like a left hand and a right hand. One is DBHP, that's the right hand. That's the form your body naturally makes and your cells actually use. And then there is LBHP, the left hand, so to say, and your body can barely use it and it's mostly excreted. Now, there is some nuance, there's some context to it. Yes, there are use cases for LBHP, there are benefits to LBHP, but for the purpose of this video, we'll focus on DBHP, the active form. And that distinction is also important when we then later on discuss supplements. Now, why does your brain perform better on ketones than it does on glucose? And I knew that to be a fact, but I didn't really fully understand why that is until I dug further into the research. And for the brain, ketones aren't just an alternative fuel. They are actually the better fuel. They are the preferred fuel of the brain and also of the heart and some other organs for that matter. And research from the NIH showed that burning BHP produces roughly 30% more usable energy per unit than burning glucose. So the same amount of fuel substrate provides 30% 10% more energy than the other. And that's amazing because it means you're running more efficiently. And in practical terms, think of it as like, the difference between regular 87 octane and premium fuel in a high performance engine. It just runs better. It's the same engine, but significantly better output with a higher quality fuel. And because ketones burn more cleanly, neurons produce less oxidative stress and less cellular damage while doing the same amount of work, or the same amount of cognitive work, I should say. But that energy efficiency story is only part of it. Ketones also trigger something else in the brain. They activate production of something called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain cells. It strengthens connections between neurons, supports memory, and helps you learn. It's one of the main reasons exercise makes you smarter, because physical activity spikes BDNF. And ketones trigger the same response through a different mechanism, by switching off certain proteins that normally suppress BDNF production. Ketones also dial down neuroinflammation, your brain inflammation that accumulates over time from poor diet, poor sleep, stress, and metabolic dysfunction. And less inflammation in the brain generally translates to clearer thinking and better mood. And there is a 2020 study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, one of the most respected journals in science, that scanned the brains of over 900 people using a very powerful MRI machine. And they found that glucose made brain networks less stable, while ketones made them more stable. And brain network instability is actually a measurable marker of brain aging. It starts to show up at around age 47. I'm 44, so 3 years to go before that biomarker is probably gonna become measurable, unless I counter it with lifestyle and ketones. And in that study, a single dose of ketones noticeably improved brain network stability within 30 minutes. That's not after weeks of a ketogenic diet. That's one dose 30 minutes later. That's pretty impressive. Now, I don't eat a strict ketogenic diet anymore. We used to do keto for, I want to say, about 2 years or so, and felt great on it. But these days, I eat a mostly animal-based diet that includes enough carbs to support my training, but I still want the brain benefits of ketosis, especially on high-demand days, like, for example, recording this video, or a podcast, or writing complex, research-intense articles that require a lot of focused thinking, with the kids, running around, and the dogs, and 100 heads of livestock outside, and there is so much going on that sometimes it's challenging to just really get into the zone and focus. And that's where exogenous ketones come in. Exogenous just means they come from outside your body as a supplement. You drink them, and within 15 to 30 minutes, your blood ketone levels rise into a range where the brain starts to run differently. And the cool thing here is, you don't need to fast, you don't need to restrict carbs for weeks in a row, you don't need to wait to be into full-blown nutritional ketosis. It just happens very fast. And I've noticed anytime I consume exogenous ketones, within 30 minutes or so, I usually don't look at the time, but within a half an hour or so, my brain operates at a different level. Not that it doesn't work good before. I think my cognitive performance is pretty spot on, but I can just feel an elevation to that. And this isn't just anecdotal, the research is building quickly. For example, a 2021 clinical trial found that ketone supplementation increased blood flow in the brain by 12% and measurably improved working memory and processing speed. And studies funded by the US Special Operations Command found that ketone esters help soldiers maintain cognitive performance even under severe oxygen deprivation. They simulated at altitudes of 20,000 feet. And a 2026 meta-analysis, so something fairly recent from this year, combining data from 38 separate studies and over 1,600 participants, found consistent, statistically significant cognitive improvements from ketone supplementation. The effects aren't like dramatic. It's not going to turn you into Albert Einstein, and they are certainly not magic, but they are real, consistent, but also dose dependent, and enough that it's going to make a difference for your cognitive output. I guess that's ultimately, at the end of the day, it only makes sense to supplement with something, to pay money for something, if you get something out of it. And for me, the return on investment is certainly there. But problem is that not all ketone supplements work the same way. And this is the section most people skip, and it's the reason a lot of people try ketone supplements, feel nothing, and write them off. But there are three main types, and they are not interchangeable. That's important to stick with me here for a while. Number 1, or type 1, are ketone salts. Those are BHP attached to a mineral, usually sodium, calcium, magnesium, etc. And they're the most common, most affordable form you'll find. The problem is that they typically only raise your blood ketone levels to, 0.5 to 1 mmol per liter. That's a unit of measurement of how much ketone is in your blood. For reference, nutritional ketosis from a ketogenic diet starts at around 0.5 mmol per liter. But most cognitive research shows meaningful effects starting closer to 1.5 to 2.0 mmol per liter. And many ketone salts also use a mix of both BHP forms, including the one your body can't really use effectively. And at the doses you'd need for a real effect, cognitively speaking, there are benefits to consuming ketone salts, don't get me wrong. There is the electrolyte component to it. There is a whole lot of benefits to ketone salts. But from a specifically cognitive performance standpoint, you need probably more. And if you consume significantly more of those salts, you might get GI upset. So that's a problem, because I have noticed that with a lot of the ketone salts, if I consume more than one serving, I get loose stools. Not a fun thing if I want to focus on a project or have to do a podcast interview. The second type of popular ketone supplement is 1,3-butanediol or 1,3-BD. And that's an alcohol. Your liver converts this into BHP, yes, which is good. And blood ketone levels can actually reach the 1.0 to 2.5 mmol per liter. But here's the problem. 1,3-BD is metabolized by the same liver enzyme that processes alcohol, because butanediol is an alcohol. It's not ethanol. It's not gonna make you wasted and fail an alcohol test. It's not necessarily gonna impact your ability to operate heavy machinery, even though I can tell when I consume 1,3-BD, it's gonna make me relax. Not drowsy, but it has a very mild sedative effect for me. That's kind of the opposite of what I want to accomplish when I use ketones to improve cognitive performance. So I use 1,3-BD in beverages instead of drinking alcohol. In the evening, when I sit on the couch or what have you, I drink that and I feel chill. My brain works maybe better, but not in the same way that a ketone ester does. The thing here is with 1,3-BD at very low doses, you might feel some mild stimulation, but at higher doses, you get the opposite. It sedates. And most or more recent research also flagged significant stress on the liver from 1,3-BD, including a large spike in inflammatory markers. So I'm not a huge fan of 1,3-BD, and there are some products out there like HVMN, that rely on only 1,3-BD. Not a fan using that consistently and chronically, especially to boost cognitive performance. The one that I really like is a monoester. This is a fundamentally different molecule than all of the others I've mentioned before. And it was developed, that monoester. There are also diesters, but the monoester that I've been using was developed over decades by researchers at Oxford University and the NIH. It was initially funded by DARPA, US military's advanced research agency, with the goal of developing the most effective fuel for soldiers to maintain both physical and mental performance in the field. And when you consume it, your gut breaks it apart into DBHP directly, active form, plus a small amount of a precursor that converts to more DBHP in your liver. And the result is blood ketone levels reaching 3 to 6 mmol per liter within 30 minutes. All DBHP, no inactive forms, and no sedating byproducts. That's 3 to 5 times higher than ketone salts and significantly above what butanediol products typically achieve. And it's the same version used by Tour de France cycling teams and studied in US military cognitive research. And that's the one that I use. And the product that I've been using most consistently is from DeltaG. They are the ones behind the original Oxford ester. They used a commercial version of it, of that Oxford NIH ester. And I've tested this myself with a blood ketone meter and with a breath ketone meter. The blood ketone meter is a small device very similar to a glucose meter that measures ketone concentrations in a drop of blood. And after taking 27 grams of DeltaG Performance, I peaked at 4.8 mmol per liter at the 30-minute mark. When I tested the same thing with Ketone IQ, a very popular product you can find at even at the grocery store now and on Amazon, which is a butanediol-based product, at a similar dose, I measured 1.3 mmol per liter. That's not a small difference. That's a completely different physiological response. And my daily driver, the one I use most often, actually, is DeltaG Gold. It comes in a glass bottle. It's unsweetened, so it tastes a little bit like rocket fuel. It's not for the faint of heart, but what I do, I pour it into black coffee, and I like dark roast. Terra Lava Dark Roast is the coffee that I drink from our sister brand. And together with the DeltaG ketone, I guess the dark roast, the bitterness, and the bitterness of this, they work very well together, and I can barely taste it anymore. And it actually makes my coffee taste good. The combination then of that caffeine and the ketones is incredible on how my my brain works and how I feel when I have to push through stuff in the morning. So this is the one I use. They have different versions. They have a flavored version as well, and they have the tactical, which is actually the same product, just a different packaging. So this is the one that athletes use very often because it comes in a plastic bottle, so you're not going to be able to break it if it's in your gym bag or what have you. Again, I like the gold. It's in glass, and I have it always here. I can just pour some into my morning coffee. I only use, maybe there are 30 ml in there. I use maybe 5 ml or so. So there are 6 servings in there. Yep, 6 servings in there. And it just gives me that extra boost that I can sometimes use in the morning to feel like my brain is working on rocket fuel. But I want to be straight with you about something before we wrap this up. Exogenous ketones are not a shortcut around the basics, and if anyone sells them to you in that way, I'd be skeptical. Sleep is still the #1 variable for how well your brain performs. There is nothing you can supplement your way out of if you're chronically sleep deprived. That's #1. Diet quality matters as well. Your brain needs real nutrients, not just efficient fuel in the form of ketones. Another one is exercise, especially strength training and cardio. They're one of the most reliable drivers for BDNF and long-term brain health that we know of. Stress management obviously matters. A chronically elevated cortisol level, undercuts nearly everything else you're doing. But once those foundations are reasonably solid, then exogenous ketones become a genuinely useful tool. Not because you're broken without them, but because you've built a high-performance engine, and now you're choosing a better fuel for the moments that matter most. Think of them as optimizer, not a rescue plan. So here is the reframe I want you to walk away with. Brain fog, afternoon crashes, the inability to focus when it counts, those aren't personality flaws, and they are not inevitable. A big part of what drives them is metabolic. It's about what fuel your brain has access to and how cleanly it can use it. And ketones are a real solution to that problem, one your body already understands how to use. And if you've ever fasted for extended periods and you get this mental clarity, you feel like you can do anything. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But the good news is you don't have to be fasting all the time. I highly recommend you do every so often. But even when you don't, using a high quality ketone supplement like this DeltaG Gold can make the difference between you running 100 and 120%. I'm also going to link my full comparison article in the description, so check that out. It has my blood ketone data. I did an experiment that I performed a while ago, the formulation breakdown and everything you need to know about or to make an informed decision. I also want to be open that I do have a discount code and an affiliate link from DeltaG. If you use that, I get a commission, you get a discount. I want to be open about that. But I also want to say that I'm not using this because I get paid when you use my link, but because it works. I've been using ketones before I had an affiliate relationship with any of the brands, and I'm going to continue using it long after I will have an affiliate relationship with any of those brands. So that's it. DeltaG Gold. That's the one I use. Love it. Use it a lot. Let me know in the comments. Have you been using ketones? What brand? How has it worked for you? Have you noticed a significant improvement? Have you tried ketone esters maybe and noticed the difference? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Share this video with someone who could use it. Stay focused.